Welcome, everyone, to yet another episode of Churrasco Voltor Pickups. It's been a long while, but the holidays are pretty hectic. As you can imagine, I've been dealing with a terrible case of the flu that turned into bronchitis, and it's been a horrendous affair. But here I am, bear with me if I sound sniffly. Let's start off. Late Christmas greetings from Turbo Man. Let's start up with this firearm here. This is pretty nice. I think it's working pretty well, except for that. Um, I think I can fix this. Tune in for a follow-up on this after I wipe it down. I'm gonna do a little fix here and see if I can get this looking nice again. But I have carts aplenty on this pickup video this time around. And we'll get started with some stuff that I picked up from my in-laws when they were cleaning out their garage. First up is Spooderman for the Sega Genesis. This is a very, very difficult game. I played it briefly and got thoroughly destroyed in it. It's a very difficult side-scrolling 2D beat-em-up type of deal, where you play as the titular Spooderman and beat up all the denizens of whatever the city's called where Spooderman lives. Anyways, I'm pretty sure most of these I already have on my multi-cart that I'm going to show you. But it's cool that I have the actual legit cartridge for this game. Following with the superhero theme, we have Batman, the video game. Now this one is a lot better than Spider-Man. It's kind of like the NES version of Batman. It kind of plays along, except obviously it looks better being on the Sega Genesis. I really, really enjoyed this one much more than Spider-Man. But once again, I do believe I already have this on my multi-cart. But it's cool to have the legit stuff. This one's really neat. Captain America and the Avengers for the Sega Genesis. This is one of my favorite carts that I found in this little lot. Basically, it plays a lot like the SNES one. It's very, very similar. The graphics are really nice. I kind of actually have more nostalgia for the SNES one, of course. But this one here plays really, really well. And I actually really enjoyed it. I'm very impressed with how much enjoyment I got out of this cart. I was unexpectedly surprised here. This one everyone has, I'm pretty sure. The first Golden Axe. This is so much fun. It's one of those mindless games you can just put on and you forget exactly how simple it is. But, let me turn on the music a little bit. I'm drowning myself out here over my sickliness. But basically, every time I put this game on, whether it be on a multi-cart, on a compilation, or the legit cart, I fire it up and I always get sucked up in this little game and play it for hours on end. And make it pretty much close to the end, but I always get destroyed by some last boss or something. This is a classic 2D beat 'em up, and I cannot recommend this enough. Before we get to the big kahuna of the Sega Genesis carts that I got, let me pick up some more random stuff here. Let me show you that I picked up in this little lot. 2 Atari 2600 games, Defender and Combat. This one has seen better days. This one looks pretty nice. I don't have a, excuse me, a legit 2600, but I do have the special, like that has 92 games built in game system with the Atari Flashback. Yes, that's what I have. And I'm pretty sure it has Defender on it, probably Combat, but as a nostalgic item that I have no nostalgia for, just as an antique to display in the room, it's kind of neat to have these. And then we also have another copy of Sonic. As you know, I just showed the not for resale one on this last time around. And this one is pretty neat because it's the legit OG Sonic. Beautiful cart. But guess what? It doesn't work. I don't know what it is about it. The pins are meticulously cleaned, but it just does not work. It refuses to load at all. Black screen of death. I read somewhere that some of the early Sonic carts, the way they were copied onto the memory or to the flash or whatever, they were flashed on the chips, and I don't know, weird technological stuff that I have no idea what I'm talking about really. But dang, I wish I could get this running. This will be a project of mine to see, and I'll keep you guys updated. And finally, Shining Force 2. This game did not come on my multi-cart, and I'm thrilled to have it. This is a very much pricier Genesis game, and a little bit harder to come by. This is a fantastic tactical role-playing RPG game. It's a classic. It holds up extremely well, and I had a lot of fun checking it out. I can't wait to delve back into Shining Force 2. Definitely one of my favorite Sega Genesis games that I own so far. All right, that's it for Genesis. That was a really cool haul. Let's go to some more carts. Keeping it old school with some Xevious for the NES. This is a classic old school shoot 'em up. Your little spaceship, you fly around. This is a classic, and the music is all right. Nothing to write home about. Graphics are decent. I mean, it's nothing fantastic. It's very antiquated. But I enjoyed it, and I love my shoot 'em ups, so I'm glad to add yet another one to the collection. And keeping up with the theme of shoot 'em ups, we have 1942 for the NES. This game kind of sucks. It really does. You're World War II playing, flying around, shoot at stuff. I don't think there's any real music to speak of. Power-ups are super lame. It's very slow. It kind of looks like crud. I'm not a big fan. But it was cheap, and I can't really say no to shoot 'em up, especially add them into my collection for the cheap. Last NES cart is pretty cool. Journey to the Promised Land, Exodus. Good old Moses on there. This is one of those wisdom tree games, I believe. Religious games. And don't hit it or drop it, and that would be bad. So, this is my first and only of the religious games that I have. And you know what? As far as crappy as these games are, this one I guess is one of the least crappy ones, which is not saying much. It's essentially you walk around as Moses, and you're like mining through a cave for some reason. And you find gems, and then you shoot bad guys with magical powers. I don't know. It's really strange. And in between levels, they ask you like Bible-related questions to test your knowledge and your faith. And this game will shake your faith. It'll make you question why you pick up these games and why you play them. But it's kind of neat. I'm glad to finally own one of these religious educational games. And as far as the quality, I could have picked up a far worse one, I guess. Not bad. The last cart is a doozy, and the one I'm most excited about. The original Front Mission for the SNES. As some of you Nintendo aficionados may know, and Famicom aficionados may know, Super Famicom aficionados, this game never officially released in the US, but here I have a custom cart with the English ROM on it, and it's a really good game. It really amazes me how you can customize so much stuff on such an old school simple console that you can go in and change out your robot parts, your Wanzers, the arms, the legs, the body, shoulder weapons, hand weapons, and the best part is it's all represented in your 2D sprite in the battle scenes, which is that's super impressive. It seems to follow the gameplay style of Front Mission 3 and 4, which I love those games. I'm a huge Front Mission fan, so I just needed to have this. I played a few missions. I'm really enjoying it. Translation's a little hokey, but the game looks beautiful. It runs really well. It plays great on the SNES, and I am super stoked to own the first Front Mission. I know there's a remake for the Switch, so I'm a little salty about that at my PlayStation. Any of my PlayStations didn't get a way to play that yet. Eventually they will, but I couldn't resist, and I had to dive into this game and check it out. I highly recommend you guys look up footage about this game and give it a whirl, because this is a lot of fun. Alright, let's move on to some disc-based games. The rest are all disc-based, and let's start off with the PS3, actually. Or let's go old school sequential. Let's go PS2. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. So, I have the first Max Payne. I've been looking for part 2 for the longest. This is a detective noir type of shooter, third-person shooter with slow bullet times type of deal, with a gritty comic book atmosphere. I'm really enjoying it. I still haven't beat part 1. It was revolutionary for the time, and this is the follow-up that for some reason is not a rare game, but I've had a really hard time finding it. So I finally found it on Whatnot, and I actually got it as a deal bundled up with another game that we'll see a little bit later. But this is a really fun game, and I'm looking forward to eventually getting around to it. Next up, for the PS2, Without Warning. Say, Churrasco, what is this? I never heard of this. Well, you know what? I never had either until I was looking through some old video game magazines that I had. And one of the advertisements on the back of an old Game Informer, I believe, had this game. And it looked interesting, and wouldn't you know it, the next week I found it at my game store for super cheap. So, this game kind of follows old school shows like military drama or cop drama shows, where there's like the show 24, I guess it kind of follows something like that. Basically, there's an oil rig or something taken over by terrorists, and you take the role of various military dudes and bros to take it back from the terrorists. And you also take control of several civilian-type characters, like a security guard and a photographer, I believe, and that becomes more stealth-oriented. Shooting is solid. It looks a little budgety as far as graphics, but it's a fun game, and I'm really impressed by how a game can come out of nowhere, and just, I never even heard of this. So there's definitely gems out there. Hidden gems. There's gems out there for sure that no one really knows about. And I'm very surprised how often I find stuff like this. I'm pleasantly surprised to find stuff I have no knowledge of from before. Fun game. Moving on to PS3. I love the PS3. I really do. And let's start off with Enslaved here. When I was a kid, I loved Heavenly Sword. And Ninja Theory here made this game as well, so I really wanted it, but I never got around to buying it. So I picked up this really minty copy from my local game store. And much like the next PS3 game that I'm going to show, PS3 is starting to... These last two games have run really rough on my PS3. It's not the system. I know it's just the PS3 in general. We kind of forgotten how janky some of these games were. And yeah, these games should really show their age, and the performance is just not there. But it's fun. This is, you play as the titular Monkey, not the titular Enslaved. You play as Monkey, who has a slave headband put on by this girl, Trip. And you help her across a post-apocalyptic wasteland full of ferocious robot monsters. And it's pretty cool. It's a little neat AI companion type game that was really popular back in the day. The graphics really struggle on this to really catch up to the vision. I think it was highly ambitious. But this is a fun beat-em-up game in the vein of a God of War or Rygar type of deal. This is fun. Check it out. Alright, last PS3 game, as far as stuff that I bought for myself, and not stuff that I received for my birthday or Christmas, is Spec Ops: The Line. Now, this game is currently in my PS3. This is your third-person military shooter. Premium edition, including the FUBAR pack, which apparently is the most popular version, I think. A cool little reflective golden glow up there, or strip up there. This game, a lot of people talk about it. They say, oh, you'll never believe where the story takes you, the twists and the turns. Or I spoiled it for myself. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, don't spoil it for yourself. It's a really cool game. You're a team of 3 Delta Force operators that go into Dubai to rescue a detachment of another unit and find all Dubai is all messed up, destroyed by constant sandstorms and military conflict, obviously. Very gritty action, very, hey bro, let's go save the world type of storyline and characters. But it has some cool emotional turns that really make it worthwhile and worth picking up. I'm having a lot of fun with this, actually, and I want to beat it. I think I'm about halfway done. I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Once again, it runs rough. It's a very ambitious game, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of visual flair, and the PS3 sometimes struggles mightily to keep up. Let's move on. Let's go to PS4. Yakuza 0. So this is the very popular prequel to the whole series, basically. Excuse me. This game is really neat. I really enjoyed Yakuza Like a Dragon, so I decided to check out where the whole story kind of originated. And for $20, I found a brand new sealed copy. Greatest hits, but it's still really nice. The humor's there. I can tell the missions are all over the place. A lot of stuff to do. Really, really pumped to dive into this and check out what all the fuss is about, because maybe I'll just start up playing all the Yakuza games. Maybe check out Kiwami or the remix of 1 and 2. Really pumped. If you like a Dragon, give this a try. The gameplay's totally different. It's more of a 3D brawler, but it's fun. And the last PS4 game that I bought for myself this month is a really nice copy of Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Got it for dirt cheap, as you can see. I haven't even opened it yet. It has some sticker residue inside the packaging. The main reason I got this, this is kind of a kooky pickup, I guess. I got it because I own all the original Mega Man games, as you know, except for 9 and 10, which came out originally only on digital download, I believe, all the way back on PS3, if I'm not correct, but then on PS4 also. So I had to get this to pick up those additional games that I was missing, that are redone in that pixel style of the classic NES days. When I check it out, I'll get my thoughts maybe on it later. But I'm pretty pumped to complete the original Mega Man games. So that's a keeper right there. All right, moving on to the Wii, because the Wii is one of my newer consoles and a lot of fun. We have Disney's Guilty Party. Churrasco, a Disney game? Well, okay. Think of Clue. Like a virtual Clue with a Disney charm and aesthetics to it. This is a lot of fun. You ask questions, you look for clues, you keep them in a little notebook, and then you make accusations, things like that. And supposedly it's a phenomenal multiplayer game. Although, as you know, I only have one Wiimote, and it's not even a Wii Motion Plus. See, look at all these very content people playing. I envy them in a way, even if they're not real. I'm really excited to maybe delve into this eventually with some friends and check it out further. Metal Jesus recommendation on this one. That's how I heard about it. Super cheap, easy to find, and it's very novel type of game. You should check it out. Alright, next up we have Samba de Amigo. If you have an affinity for Ricky Martin and She Bangs and all that stuff, I recommend you check this out. I remember this game being big on the Dreamcast. And then I saw it for next to nothing at my game store, so I picked it up. And then I had some fun shaking the Wiimote around like an idiot. But then I realized that it's a good reason that my curtains are always closed in my office, because no one could see the tragedy and how silly I looked. So supposedly this had downloadable tracks also back in the day in the service. It comes with standard 30-something or more tracks. It's a fun little rhythm game. I suck at rhythm games, and this is no exception. But I'm glad to have it. A quirky little game. And the last Wii game is Super Mario Galaxy. This is the other game that came on that Whatnot deal with Max Payne 2. I got them both for 20 bucks. This is supposedly one of the more iconic Mario games, especially on the Wii. I gave it a shot, and it was not really my cup of tea, but I can see the ambition and I enjoy the vision that they're trying to give you here. And the game looks really nice. So I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad to check it out. And if I like it enough, I'll pick up Mario Galaxy 2, which I heard is superior. But let me know, what do you guys think of Super Mario Galaxy? All right, and now for the last game I bought for myself. PS5, Tactics Ogre Reborn. This freaking game. Those who know me may know that Final Fantasy Tactics is arguably my favorite game ever. This game gives it a little bit of a run for its money, but it's no Tactics. I'll tell you now, at least in my opinion. It's a tactical grid-based RPG with a job system. It's done really nicely. Nice graphics. It's been updated a little bit, like remastered for the newer systems, and it looks good. Doesn't blow you away. Tactics looks better on the PS1, in my opinion. But this game is fun. The full voice acting is nice. The story is epic. I love the story. I've played through. I'm in Chapter 4. The missions are getting really tough. But that's my main gripe. The difficulty is a little bit artificial. It's infringed upon you a level cap. A sequential level caps throughout the game that you can only level up so far before certain parts of the game, which kind of makes it BS because the only reason you get your B-hole kicked in during a mission may be because the enemy units outlevel you by 2, 3, sometimes even 4 levels, and those level ups make a huge difference for your defenses and offensive powers. So, but it's just really fun. It's on the Switch also. I really recommend checking this game out if you're a fan of tactical RPGs. It might be my second favorite tactical RPG of all time at this time. I haven't beat it yet, but I am enjoying my time with Tactics Ogre Reborn. All right, let's move on to, let's do Christmas first of this past year. I hope you guys had a phenomenal Christmas. I had some cool pickups for my Christmas, starting off with the Castlevania Double Pack. So, I love the Game Boy Advance, and I love the little mini adventures I've had with it, especially the Metroid games like Zero Mission and Fusion. And I love Castlevania, and I always wanted to check these games out. And here it is. I've been playing it on and off. The first one, I think Harmony of Dissonance. And it is a bit of a callback to Symphony of the Night in GBA form. Really fun. My only complaint about this Harmony of Dissonance, at least because I haven't checked out Aerial Sorrow, I'll play it whenever I beat it, is the music does not hold the candle to the Castlevania legacy of the music they have in those games. But this is really neat. I'm really pumped to finally own this. And I don't know if this cart is legit or not. I'm not really going to complain, but really cool. All right, let's move on. Streets of Rage 4, the Anniversary Edition, including the DLC baked onto the disc, the Mr. X Nightmare, that has the randomizer. Currently in the PS4. My brother loves beat-em-ups. I like beat-em-ups a lot too, but he really recommended this to me many a time, and I finally gave it a whirl, and I'm glad I did. This is a lot of fun. I'm stuck on the last level. Maybe I had a buddy to play with or something. Maybe I should try jumping online and playing it. I might be able to beat it, but I'm stuck on the last boss. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But this is a beautifully drawn, like hand-drawn 2D sprite type of game with multiple weapon power-ups, special moves. I'm really, really enjoying my time with this. Pleasantly surprised by how much I'm enjoying it. Haha! For the PS5 is Goat Simulator 3. This is more of my son's present. It's currently in the PS5 because he's been playing and hogging the PS5. I haven't been able to play PS5 for weeks now because of Goat Simulator, or at least since Christmas. It's a fun little silly sandbox. It's kind of funny. A buddy of mine at work was telling me, "Hey, you ever heard of Goat Simulator 3? It's really cool." And I said, "Yeah, I got it for my 8-year-old." And he goes like, "Well, I'm a grown man and I enjoy it." And you know what? It's fun. It's you go around as Goat, you lick things, you baa, you hijack cars as a goat. Right now, my son is a shark on a skateboard, and he drives a van and crashes it into things. I don't know. It's a fun game, though. I really, really like how much joy it brings him. And it could be something that I would eventually give a try myself to. Aha. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. The deluxe edition is still sealed. This is really neat. I really wanted to check it out on PS4 when it came out. Never got around to it. And now the PS4 version, for some reason, is really expensive for a PS4 game. I think I saw it around between $60 and $80 for used copies. So PS5 just came out with a brand new one. And I am pumped to play it. Ever since playing Tales of Berseria, I've been kind of hooked on real-time active battle type games with these kind of hand-drawn looking watercolor type graphics or cel-shaded look. This is supposed to be a phenomenal game and a massive game that I'll eventually get into after I beat some other games on my PS5 like Tactics Ogre and another game that you'll be seeing in a little bit. So I'm really pumped to own this and check it out eventually. It's a really nice looking game too. Now for the last Christmas gift, Vampire Reign Altered Species on the PS3. This one even has the poster in it. I have not checked this out yet because I am still playing through Spec Ops. Critically panned You're a Sam Fisher reject looking guy going around the city, creeping behind dumpsters, getting mauled by vampires. Supposedly really difficult. Panford's difficulty, archaic graphics, terrible gameplay, but it has become a bit of a cult classic as of late. And kind of horror based. So you know how I am about my horror games. I need to check them out. And I'm really glad to own it and eventually delving into it. Yeah. All right, now for my birthday, which was crazy. My family and my parents, my wife, they went all out, got me a lot of cool stuff. Let's start off with this really nice 13 for PS5, which has a really cool slipcase that you see the comic book type graphics and it slips into the 13. Really neat. This game is, I wanted to check out 13 on PS2, but I can never find it on the PS2. I find it on the Xbox, the OG Xbox all the time, but I wanted to check it out on the PS2. But I didn't find it, so I checked out the remake. This is a remake of the remake. The first remake was a piece of garbage, supposedly. This is fun. It's a first-person shooter with a cel-shaded comic book style and old-time James Bond-type vibes. Really fun. I already beat it. I really enjoyed it. A quick playthrough and a fun time. Aha. Next up is Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. I had to get this. I missed out on owning this for the SNES. Not that I ever really wanted it when it was out, I guess. It just later came up as one of those rare games. And Natsume, Taito, those guys, they come up with good stuff. So my wife got this for me, and I really enjoyed it. It's a mercilessly hard shoot 'em up, 2D scroller, vertical and horizontal type shooter that's really, really dang difficult. But I really like it. I like the story. It's kind of goofy. It looks like a quick playthrough if I can actually make it through. This version, as you know, has the bonus characters and some other cool little nifty stuff. So I'm really pumped to own this and eventually get my ass kicked in it over and over again. All right, let's see. Ooh, Card Alert. WWF No Mercy for the N64. A really nice copy. So this brings me back to like the PS1 era of wrestling games. It was so much fun to play these games. It has a massive roster. The graphics kind of don't hold up that well. Very polygonal. Like, hey, buddy, you have a bad case of box armatosis. You know, it looks rough, but it plays really nice. And there's so much effort thrown into this game. It plays so well. It really actually feels really nice on the N64 controller. And I am pumped to play this. I hope I can get people over, sit on the couch, and check this game out. Maybe I should invest in a fourth controller to have a 4-player brawl. Yeah, really cool. This is the big one. PS5, God of War Ragnarok. I really, really want to play this game. I really, really do. And I don't want to look at spoilers online because there are videos about it everywhere. I'm imagining this is going to be an amazing experience. I've been a God of War fan since the PS2 days. I love the series. I played every single one of the games except for the PSP games that I know I can get in a collection, and I should. But I'm so pumped to check this out. It's still sealed. I will eventually get back into it. Have you guys played the new God of War, the Ragnarok? Is it amazing? Is it as amazing as people say? I have a feeling it is. Let me know in the comments because I'm so pumped. But don't spoil anything for me or I'll ban you. I'll ban you from this amazing channel. You don't want that. All right, winding it down with the last PS2 game that I got for my birthday, Scarface, The World Is Yours. In the world of GTA clones, this is probably the best one I've played. Definitely better than Getaway and a True Crime. This is really fun, and they got it. It's not Tony Montana. It's not the actor, but the guy that's doing the dub did a really fantastic job. And the shooting is brutal. You have a balls meter that fills up as you shoot more people, and then you maul them with your guns and blow their arms off. It's really cool. Really potty mouth game. Don't play this with the kids. But I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to delve back into this game. All right, let's wrap it up with the last 3 games. I'm going to show all at once. Kind of. Metroid Prime for the GameCube, and I got a memory card, so we're good to go. But wait. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. All complete. Pretty decent condition copies, except for my Metroid Prime Echoes is a little rough. And I had to wrap it up with Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. So let me tell you guys how important this is to me. I am so thrilled to own these 3 games because it's like saying hi to an old friend again after a long time. I loved Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo as a kid, and it holds a special place in my heart. But ever since then, I became a Sony kid afterwards, and I missed out on all the other of Samus's adventures, and now I can revisit them and check out what I missed on the GameCube and on the Wii in this, what I hear is a stellar first-person explorathon shooting thing, and I am so pumped to dive into this. Anyways, guys, that's basically it. I hope you had wonderful holidays and a Happy New Year. As far as the gem, I don't know. There's so many great games. I really can't nail down a gem. I'd say I'm really enjoying my time with Front Mission. It's just amazing technically what the SNES can do. The stinker, though, is easily going to go to 1942 on the NES. This game blows. Don't get it. I'd rather hang out with Moses. Anyways, guys, I'm hoping you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Great stuff incoming for the new year. Churrasco Voltorb, signing out.